In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Padmé Amidala for the Legacy Collection, and this is based upon her appearance at the beginning of the Geonosis sequence. So this action figure had a few releases in the Legacy Collection. Her first release, I'm fairly sure, was the Evolutions pack, Padmé Amidala set, which came with a Queen Amidala, this action figure, and then one interpretation of her from Revenge of the Sith. Then later on in the second phase of the Legacy Collection, around 2009 and 10, she was repacked again as a single release. I ended up getting this action figure loose a couple years ago now at this point. It's one of those action figures where I always kind of wanted it for my collection, but it's kind of pricey on the aftermarket, especially if you get a brand new version. And the seller had this loose, and it was a significantly lower price than it was normally going for, and I made an offer and went ahead and got it. But I will say this action figure is a little bit more on the dirty side. It's not as bad now, but you can kind of see there's some marks here and there. But it was much worse when I originally got this. I had to soak her in some water for a little bit, try and get some of the dirt off. But for the price I paid, I wasn't really too upset about it. And I'm not 100% sure, but I think her tooling here might have been as part of the tooling here for the Black Series action figure. At least for the legs, and then maybe like her left arm there. Not exactly sure, but it looks very similar, so I wouldn't be surprised on that. So her burqa here, I think it looks really good. This is probably one of the best proportions that Hasbro's ever done on an action figure, quite frankly, because a lot of times the eyes aren't totally lined up, and you have accessories like this, and sometimes it could be something like that, or the eyes are just way out of place. This one's perfect. And it fits like a glove over her head. Easy enough to take off. As far as the head sculpt goes, it's alright. There's definitely some room for improvement. But as far as Padmé's go, I think this one's probably one of the better ones you can get. One of the things I would change on this is I wish he wasn't quite as glossy. You can kind of see the reflection in the light there that her hair and her face are extremely glossy. It's easy enough to take her poncho off as well. And this is before she gets cut up in the battle arena. Outfit looks pretty good, not a whole lot to say about it. Pretty much all white with some beige colors here and there. Here's the belt with all her pouches. Have her holster with the Naboo blaster. Articulation's pretty good. She does have a ball joint at the head. It doesn't have a whole lot of up and down motion, but pretty good for side to side. But she has very good range in the shoulders there. It goes way past 90. And hinge at the elbow, which surprisingly these don't really go quite to 90, it seems. Close, but not quite there. Swivel wrists. And I think it's interesting how they sculpted her hand here. It's like she's reaching out to take someone's hand. I kind of appreciate that. That's something unique. Of course, this one's more for her pistol. She does have a joint at the torso, and so hips, and hinged knees and hinged ankles. And then for accessories, besides the burqa and the poncho here, it's the standard Naboo blaster that pretty much is included with every Padmé we ever get. Unfortunately, they did do the paint for the pistol grip there. Sometimes they don't do that. And it fits securely in her holster. And she is part of the Build-A-Droid line. I don't recall specifically which Build-A-Droid part she has. This was one of the later Legacy Collection waves. I would have to go back and check on that. And of course, when I got this loose, it didn't have the Build-A-Droid part with it. I would say more often than not, I have this Padmé with all her gear on. I think that's probably the main draw for this action figure, because I can't think of any other Padmés out there where she has all this. We have Padmés in this style of outfit, but she doesn't have like the burqa and the poncho here, for example. And I like how they did the mold here where it can accommodate the bun on, or the bun she has. And same with the flap here. But I think that's all I can really tell you about this Padmé. Comparison side by side, the evolution of her. I would still say that this Black Series 1 is the best Padmé that we've gotten to date. It's interesting that we haven't got a new Padmé in recent years in TVC. I hope Hasbro does get around to doing that here soon. We definitely need one. And one with the face printing tech as well. Even if they just repack this with maybe a new head, I think a lot of people would appreciate that. And the head on this is pretty much perfect, but of course we don't do the painted head sculpts anymore. And then they run the risk of a head that was initially painted being ran through with the face printing tech, and oftentimes that doesn't turn out too well. So I think it'd just be better to do an all new head. But if this is the best Padmé, this one's definitely a contender that's up there. Probably in the top 10. And I'm happy she's part of my collection. She looks good with her future husband here. But anyways, that concludes this review. I hope you enjoyed it. And stay tuned for plenty more videos in the future. There's always more to come. If you haven't already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate your support. And check out the links in the description if you haven't done so already. And one other thing I'll mention is I think this is the last action figure I really want to take a look at with this setup here. So the videos after that, I think we're going to be moving on to a new setup. So stay tuned for that. But anyways, thanks for watching.